Hey, what's up guys? LL here, and I am back for another video. This time around, we are covering Void versus Boudouche from SPL. And this is a DPPOU match. I'm going to try doing a few more of these, but I really wanted to cover DPP because it's my favorite gen, and I enjoy commentating over these games, whether they be my own or other people's. Now, leading off, we got a Zapdos versus an Azelf. We know that Zapdos leads traditionally just run something like either Specs, Magnet, or Leftovers or Life Orb, something like that, with 3 attacks plus U-turn or Roost in the last slot. So obviously the Zapdos is going to be firing off either a Discharge or a Thunderbolt at the Jirachi, as Boudouche is probably just going to get up his rocks regardless of what Azal variant he is, unless he's Choice Band, which I'm guessing he's not because I've never seen Boudouche run that set in a major tournament. So Boudouche gets up a rocks as Zapdos discharges, and the following turn as Void goes into T-Tar, just to avoid a possible boom, because boom seems obvious if Azelf has its rocks up, it's going to explode and try and chunk something. So this reveals that Void probably doesn't have a ghost type, as if he did, he would have gone Rotom if he was expecting a boom. And then here, Boudouche gets up a light screen revealing that he's a dual screens Azelf, probably meaning that there are several setup sweepers waiting in the wings, and Void is definitely going to be breaking a sweat here due to the threat level that Boudouche's team probably poses. And then Boudouche reflects prior to the T-Tar or getting up its rocks, revealing that the T-Tar is not scarfed, which is useful information for that can potentially come in handy later in the match. And then Azelf just booms and gets rid of the T-Tar. As T-Tar Dark Pulsed here when Azelf went down, which leads Boudouche to believe it's probably some sort of special lure set. But little does Boudouche know that's just a trick that Void was playing on him. It's actually a Thunderwave Tyranitar. So he's likely doing that just to lure out one of Boudouche's setup sweepers and cripple it for the rest of the game. And that's precisely what he does with Thunderwave, and now here he's just spamming Dark Pulse to fish for flinches to stall out dual screens turns, as that doesn't quite work out for him. As he does stall one turn with paralysis, but it doesn't end up making too big a difference in that situation. Although the paralysis really comes in handy here, as it allows Machamp to fish for a para and fish for a para or predict a switch out, because if the Tyranitar is not Choppable, it still dies in spite of Reflect being up. So he subs as Tyranitar unfortunately gets paralyzed, and this means that Void has basically all the momentum in the match because he's going to get a kill with Machamp, right? Wrong. It's actually Choppleberry Tyranitar, meaning that Boudouche is in a little bit of trouble here because his Tyranitar is parafused, and if it goes down with Machamp having a sub up, he can't intimidate it with a potential DD Gyarados in the back, and it's probably going to either claim another one or take a huge chunk off of something. As now Void does go for the sub, as Boudouche does go into his Gyarados here, and he does get the Intimidate off there because he didn't stay in and get hit, which was a very smart play by Boudouche because Machamp is a huge threat, needs to do whatever he can to deal with it right now. And although this is DD Gyarados and can wall, air quotes, Ice Punch sets, it still has to deal with Dynamic Punch confusion, and Machamp is a huge threat, so it's just going to break the sub. And as you notice, this Void's team is a very obvious theme. 2 Mons to start the battle to spread paralysis so a sub Machamp can clean up. It's a very strong strategy, and one that I think people should use more, because while lead Machamp is fantastic for getting you an early game lead, late game sub Machamp with paralysis support can be deadly for many of these common archetypes. Now moving in, we have an Infernape, and this Infernape is either Life Orb, Expert Belt, Choice Scarf, Fist Plate, Charcoal, something around there, likely. Just like an offensive set that's trying to take out Machamp with either Flare Blitz or Close Combat, depending on whichever is his accurate move. And he just smacks the Machamp with a Close Combat there. and he doesn't take any damage at all. So that leads Void to believe that he's probably a choice set as he spins, thinking he's gonna that the Nape is scared out. But Boudouche just goes hard for the CC, predicting the spin, wanting to pressure Void as much as possible. And here, Void probably thinks he can knock out the Infernape with Surf and gain back the momentum. But unfortunately for Void, Boudouche did have a Mach Punch Infernape. But also, unfortunately for Boudouche, this Starmie is very bulky as it easily ate that Mach Punch and recovered. So here it can just cleanly knock out the Infernape, having a fairly healthy Starmie be to threaten out the rest of Boudouche's team. So here, interesting set. It's basically bold Starmie. Obviously, we know that from the Mach Punch damage. And Boudouche goes in with his Dragonite, thinking, God, please, I'm gonna set up with Lum, praying because once he saw bold, he's like, I got a Lum Berry. I can take the T-Wave setup and potentially sweep if Void doesn't have any solid D-Knight counters in the back. So then here, he just goes for Outrage, smacking the Starmie, but Void obviously hasn't sent out a Steel type yet, so he's got to have one in the back. Sends out his Jirachi. Doesn't gobble up the Outrage, but he does, go in, crit Body Slam, which just sucks for Boudouche because he could potentially break through this Jirachi if he gets a 2-turn Outrage and doesn't get haxed. But, as is the game we play, and then moving on to the next turn, and the Jirachi just knocks out the Dragonite. As Boudouche goes into his last mana, Agility Metagross, trying to Agility, praying he doesn't get paralyzed by Body Slam, which he doesn't, which is very good for him as now he can Earthquake, do a ton of damage to the Jirachi as Void fishes again for a para, doesn't get it again, and that Jirachi is out of the picture. So now we got a Zapdos, and Agility Metagross runs Earthquake Mash 100% of the time. At least that's what I think it should run. And then the last slot, you either run Zen Headbutt or Ice Punch, as Zen Headbutt can hit some stuff like Machamp a little bit harder, whereas Ice Punch obviously hits like Flygon. So it's based on personal preference a little bit. As he misses the Zen Headbutt, as Zapdos can just get a discharge off, which that Zen Headbutt was doing nothing, so it didn't really matter that he missed the first one that much. Although he did flinch the second time around, but hacks for hacks, I suppose. And Void just cleans up the game with his Zapdos. This is a very interesting game with Boudouche bringing a little bit of a cheese-type team with Azelf, dual screens, plus the quadruple setup sweeper, and then just like an offensive Infernape that, in hindsight, could have possibly even been Swords Dance. We don't know the variant, as it wasn't choice-locked. And Void brought an interesting team. It was basically, standard para spam offense, which, everyone knows and loves. Discharge Zapdos, Body Slam Jirachi, T-Wave T-Tar, T-Wave Bold Starmie, and then Sub Machamp. It's a very strong archetype, and I think this is the first time it's been whipped out in SPL this year. It's a very annoying team style to face if you're not prepared for it, as Machamp is already dumb enough to deal with as is, and if all of your fast mons that are faster than it are paralyzed, then you're going to have to deal with Parafusion and sub-fishing for you to get disabled and it getting another one kill. So it's a very strong archetype. I'm guessing his last was something like, I don't know. I don't think it's a T-Wave Rotom A, because if he was Rotom, he would have gone into it on the second turn versus Zelf, but it's definitely going to be either some sort of paralysis setter or a late game cleaner for when Machamp can't quite do the job. So if I personally were running this team, I'd run something like an SD Lucario maybe, because that pressures shared checks with Machamp and can definitely clean up games if everything's paralyzed, killing mons that are previously couldn't before. Like, I don't know, a +2 Adamant Life Orb CC is obviously going to destroy a Starmie that's paralyzed and stuff like that. Hope you guys had a wonderful day, and I hope you enjoyed the video. So I hope the quality is a little bit better in this video due to me having a new laptop. If it isn't, or you had any problems with the video, please let me know in the description. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.